Hello everyone, before we get into today's video, please follow our socials: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Instagram and Twitter. Alright, thank you.
Hello everyone, welcome back to a brand new episode of the How's It Going podcast. Can't even speak today, I don't know what's wrong with me. We've got a brilliant guest on. I've been absolutely buzzing for this episode, I'm not going to lie. He's an acting coach, he's an inspirational speaker, and he's also a podcaster like us. His name is Matt Zina, and he's also from around, Bradford, where we're from. So, Matt, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, wow. How can I beat that, though? Well done. Brilliant. Yeah. My name's Matt Zina. I was a bit of a child actor, and then I became an acting coach. I've been an acting coach for 20 years now. Lately, I've kind of taken a bit of a pivot, been getting into a lot of kind of mindset. And I've really introduced that as a kind of pioneering angle to help actors. So I realized that one thing that was missing from acting coaching really was actually teaching actors and giving actors the mindset that they require in order to be able to succeed in what is a very tough industry. So I've kind of fused together various elements of marketing, branding, mindset. As well as that, I've kind of been working as an on-set acting coach with BBC, ITV, films, and kind of had a really interesting career, really. I mean, to make a living from this industry, I'm incredibly proud of what I've achieved. Like I say, recently I rebranded what was the Yorkshire School of Acting to Matt Zina Acting. And I think you alluded to it there. I'm releasing a podcast in 11 days' time, the Act Now show, which is going to be a conduit, which probably you guys have found, whereby I can serve and add value to more people, and in a way that's kind of more conducive to people's kind of lifestyle. They can listen to me while they're at the gym, they can listen to me whilst they're out walking, they can listen to me however they want to, rather than having to be in a certain place at a certain time to receive value and kind of information and kind of help from me. They can absorb it however they wish. So I'm really excited. I think podcasts, I think it's a fantastic medium, and you guys are obviously doing incredibly well. So I'll be asking you guys for advice as well.
Oh, we'll be giving you plenty.
Yeah.
But I, for one, will definitely be a subscriber to your new podcast because, I've got you on Facebook, so I saw you posted a video about the podcast and I'm like, oh, brilliant, because I'm into my acting stuff as well. So I'm like, oh, thank God, a good podcast I can actually listen to and learn from. And you were also saying you rebranded the Yorkshire School of Acting. Well, I used to go there for a couple of sessions and I remember meeting you. We were a long time ago. I was quite young. And yeah, you're a very good person and I really enjoy your content that you make and produce.
That's so kind of you to say, and I'm so glad that we've come into contact, and I'm so glad that you're doing so well for yourself. It's fantastic, At the end of the day, you are effectively a born performer, You want to kind of add your energy to the world, and I think that anybody that feels that way, anybody that like you obviously attended acting classes because you are somebody that wants to spread their energy around, and that's such a fantastic thing. And the fact that you can do that in such a positive manner, in such a wonderful way, I've taken that to the next level. And like you say there, you like to look at my content and things like that. Now, there's a common misconception around people like us, I suppose, that want to put themselves out there, and effectively we do receive attention, and it's the only way in which somebody like us guys, we want to add value to other people. It's not for selfish reasons, and I think people kind of get the wrong end of the stick. We're not doing this because we want attention. We're doing it because our mindset is that we've got energy, we've got a need to add value to other people. We've got a need, and actors that come to me, people say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. That's brilliant. I'm not going to put you down if you say you want to be famous. I'm not going to put you down for that. we all have a need for attention in some ways, but actually what you usually find is the mindset behind that is we want to entertain. We want to add value to other people's lives. That's a really, really good thing. And I'm so glad to see that you're doing that as well. And with regards to my own stuff, you know, I've been on a journey myself, a personal journey. What actually happens is in life, particularly as you get older, when you get to a certain age, you start to question, you think, right, have I achieved my full potential? You know? And I got to the stage where actually, even though everyone else thought I was doing incredibly well, what's up with you, Matt? You know, you've got a really successful company, you've done this, you've done that. Don't know why, but for some reason I thought, well, I've not achieved my full potential. So I did that. I did something that a lot of people do. And I got myself a kind of coach, a mentor. And I learned a lot about becoming the best version of myself, mindset. I learned a lot about business then. And I learned a lot of different things. But mindset was one of those things that I realized was the most important thing that we all should know about. I genuinely think that. And I thought, right, what I'm going to do from this point onwards is my content that I'm gonna offer the world is going to be around mindset, and I'm going to allow myself to add value, and I'm going to get out there, and I'm going to make daily content to help others. You know, and what actually happens is when you help others, when your mindset becomes about, right, I'm going to do things for other people, I'm going to purely make sure that my whole mindset is about making sure that I help others. What happens is actually you get a lot of benefit from that. You know, you get more eyes on you. Business goes well. You become the best version of yourself. And everything has just absolutely taken off since I just switched my mentality towards not just being a businessman and trying to do this and this and this, actually just get that core focus of, I want to help as many people as possible. And that, again, is what this podcast is about. That's what my content's about. If anybody wants to check out Instagram, I am at Matt Zina Acting. I put out free content on there. Amazing. I put out free content on there every single day to do with, for actors, but to do with mindset. And there's something on there for everybody. And like I said, the podcast is just going to be another way of me being able to do that, but in a better way.
Yeah, it's a way to just branch out to like other people who maybe don't want to go on a lot of social media.
Absolutely. There's so many platforms out there, and so many people feel comfortable with different platforms. There's people who will only go on TikTok, you know, the younger generation. They think that Facebook's for dinosaurs, you know. You know, so my daughter certainly does. But podcasts is just a fantastic way now of reaching a whole different audience. And like I say, I am on TikTok, I am on Snapchat, I'm on everything. But purely for that reason, that my whole ethos is about, look, I'm in a position now, I'm 37 years old. I've learned an awful lot about life. I've been through, an awful lot of things. I've learned an awful lot. And do you know what? I just want to help as many people as possible, both actors, everyday people, anybody within my industry, anybody who's really can connect with what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Well, that's brilliant, but that's like what we do with ours, you know. One of the foundations of our podcast is we made this podcast beginning at first lockdown, and we thought, right, we need to do something for the people out there who are going to struggle through this. And we thought, what better way, you know, to create an online platform for people to come to and just listen in? Because we always say, I mean, I've had feedback from people saying, your podcast has actually changed the way I look at things for the better.
Yeah.
And
amazing.
And it makes me think, wow, I've had that impact on somebody's life for something better. And you know, I get that from your content. Like, I'll watch one of your videos when you're out on a walk, and I'll think, you know, good on you for getting yourself out there and putting people first and giving them people some really strong advice.
Yeah, and inspiring
Absolutely,
people as well.
thank you. No, that's
You're
lovely of you
welcome.
to say. It genuinely is, and you know that it's a bit of a journey. I'm sure you found it, guys. You know, it's like right, you know, you've got a lot to do, man. You've got to put some time aside, and you know, to do these interviews on a Sunday where other lads, you know, other people your age, what would you know, would be doing other stuff. You know, you've got a lot of sacrifices to make, and it's absolutely wonderful. And if you just get that odd comment of, you know, well done, you know, you're doing great. It means so much to people like us, doesn't it? You know, that are genuinely, you know, I don't have to put out daily content every day. You don't have to do this, but we do it not from a place of selfishness. We do it purely from a place of, well, dare I be cheesy, but love, you know, wanting to give, wanting to add value to people. And I think that's a passion as well. Yeah, absolutely. It's fantastic. It really, really is. And you know, for you young lads like yourself, you know, I think it's just fantastic what you're doing. I really do. And I'm so glad that we've kind of got this reciprocal understanding of what we kind of all doing, you know. And do you know what? I hope more people do it, you know? I hope more people do it, genuinely.
Yeah, thank you for saying that. We
No
feel the
worries.
exact same way. Like, of course, if you want to branch your content out to other people and make their day just a little bit better, just like us, then it's really good because you're helping yourself and you're helping other people, and it's your love and passion to do that.
Absolutely, absolutely. No, it's absolutely, you know, it's great. It really is. With regards to kind of content creation and stuff like that, what I find is on a morning as a ritual, I'll come out and I'll be like, right, you know, what's am I thinking about right now? And a lot of mindset is self-coaching. So what happens is because I'm constantly self-coaching myself, you know, kind of go, right, I'm watching how I'm thinking, how I'm feeling around things, then what I'm actually self-coaching myself, what I find is that I then create content on that, you know, the mindset principle that's kind of coexists with what I'm thinking about and what I'm kind of coaching myself in a way. It's really interesting. One of the things that was a major thing for me, guys, is I was massively, for me, really, really overweight. You know, just like everyone in lockdown, we were all scared. We're all going through negative emotions, and what happens is with negative emotions is we kind of mask those emotions with different things. Some people drink, some people you know, have all sorts of ways, and what it's kind of short-term bursts of happiness, isn't it? You know, have a drink, short-term happiness. For me, it was eating. You know, eat. I've always done that. You know, if I need a quick boost of dopamine because I'm not feeling too good, right? Eat. You know, so I was like, I got to about 15 stone. You know, which for somebody my height, I'm not particularly tall, was massively, and I was really unhealthy, and I felt it, you know. And so I had to kind of do something about it. I got a coach in terms of mindset, but he also helped me with fitness and everything. And the long and short of it is I've actually lost 3 stone, and I lost 3 stone between then and September and January. And the reason why I'm telling you that is because that was effectively my biggest hurdle. That was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. And when I found out that I could do that, everything else after that was easy, you know, in terms of mindset, in terms of achievement, you know. And so even though I've got a successful business, everyone think that might be the hardest thing to do, you know, because most businesses go out of business in the first year. No, it wasn't. It was that, you know? And so from then on, everything else feels easy, you know? It really, really does. It's a strange one, but I'm so proud of myself for that. And then beyond that, kind of the business and the rebrand and kind of taking the business global as well. I mean, we serve clients all over the world through Zoom now. Also have our local acting classes in in Yorkshire, but we were able to serve people all over the world. So that's kind of what I've been up to. That's kind of my journey. And obviously we know about the future, which is the podcast, which is fantastic, and I'm really, really excited. We've got an interview with James Hooton, Sam Dingle. He's a good pal of mine, and he's absolutely great value in his episode. He really, really is. We've also got Faye McKeever, who's a fantastic actress, kind of well known for lots of BBC ITV dramas, and she was in Trolleyed and all sorts of things. And then we've got literally 5 episodes all ready to go, that we're going to kind of release, kind of 3 in one go and then ongoing. So it's going to be fun, you know, creating those podcasts. How do you find it as like a schedule? How do you find kind of creating those podcasts and coming up with the ideas and constantly having to kind of keep churning them out on a weekly basis?
Well, I think I speak for me and Owen, and for everyone else who's watching. We are looking forward to your podcast coming out. I know I'll actually be listening to it. I'll be listening to it. First of all, what platforms is the podcast going to be out on first, so our viewers will know?
Right, okay. iTunes, obviously, instantly, bang, straight out, on the 8th of July. Then I think, as far as I know, I'm quite new to all this, but it will then be put out across all the different platforms through the platform I used to kind of put it out. It'll be on all of the others. I don't know.
It's across all platforms.
Yeah, across all platforms. There we go. You know better than me, Luke. That's the terminology we're going to use. Brilliant. Across all platforms.
We find it, just to answer your question anyway, we find it.
Yeah,
so what we would do usually is we would brainstorm. We'd have a brainstorming session of all different topics we could think about if we can't have a guest on, because we always strive to have guests on, because it's like we learn from everyone who comes on, because we were quite young for doing a presenting role. Really, we learn from everyone who comes on. So it'd be like today, I've just already learned loads of stuff from you about, you know, motivation and keeping positive. And we've had music artists on, and they've taught us about how to be creative and how to be unique in the creative industry. And we just find it interesting to learn from all these people.
And you know what? If you're learning, then obviously your audience is learning, which is what it's about. You know, we've just mentioned it. It's about adding value to as many people as possible. Exactly. And value is learning. You know, value is sometimes being challenged and challenging people's views. There's so many ways that you can add value to people. And like I say, if you're learning, then your audience is learning. And that's the best thing about having guests, I suppose. You know, I was the same with James when we were having that chat. You know, listen to his viewpoint. You know, thing about James Hooton is obviously he's been in Emmerdale for 25 plus years. But you'd think like somebody with like, you know, what you'd call relative celebrity status, you'd think they'd be quite guarded. You'd think they'd be quite, he just says how it is, you know? He just really will just be totally honest. You know, he talks about people thinking he's lucky in the episode. He talks about all sorts of things, and he's massive on he's very well read. He's massive on mindset and stuff like that, and he truly believes in a lot of the same principles as I do. In fact, you know, when I've spoke to him at different times before, away from kind of podcasts or anything like that, it's all we ever talk about, you know. He's a really, really interesting guy. But I think to succeed as an actor, you have to have an incredibly strong mindset anyway. You're probably very aware, you know, that only 1 in 100 actors really make a kind of full-time career from acting. You know, there's 99 out of 100 actors don't. You know, so what is it about that 1 in 100 actor? You know, and I truly believe that a lot of it is the mindset that they adopt, because it's tough. You know, it is really, really tough. And that's what I've been discovering, and that's what I've been coaching alongside my acting training, you know, because it's so important. And we're getting amazing results with regards to the kind of turnover of kind of the parts that that our students are getting from their auditions, the way that they're approaching it. We've just had an absolute amazing rate of return now on auditions and parts, with the agency side of things at Matt Zina Acting is just going absolutely ridiculous. You know, we're booking parts all the time at the minute. And I just think that as a culture within MZA, we're just getting a lot more resilient, stronger, you know, if I dare use that phrase, better actors that just genuinely understand themselves, self-coach themselves, have more resilience, and know the game a lot better than actors that just go to an acting class. You know, I think it's really, really working genuinely.
Well, that's brilliant. And I mean, I myself wouldn't mind coming along to your acting school and giving it a go, because for, you know, a career aspiration, I've wanted to do acting for a very, very long time. And I agree with what you say, how you need to have such a focused mindset, and you need to understand, look, this industry isn't guaranteed, and you need to be aware of that.
Yeah, I'm going to say this is the perfect thing for Owen at the moment.
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you what, I've got an offer for both you and all of your listeners. All right. So if anybody wants to have a trial or an acting class at Matt Zina Acting, based in Bradford, Halifax, Leeds, York, and online as well, right? On me as the principal, okay? If they email pa@mzacting.com, I will ensure that they get a free class, okay? So there we are, hot off the press. There's an offer, and definitely you two guys, all right?
I know a few people will be taking you up on that offer.
Absolutely, no, it's great, and I love it, and I think you two guys are great. I think that you've got exactly the right type of mindset that would definitely be good, for, you know, that lends itself well to being a good actor. So definitely would love that. And your listeners, like I say, the same offer applies to them. So if you'd put in the description for me, Luke, if you'd put in the email address, PA, that's my lovely PA, Amy Milner. I'll give her a shout. She's tireless. She's brilliant. She keeps me on the straight and narrow. And she will receive that email, and she will offer anybody that emails pa@mzacting.com an email. She will make sure that they get a free class. There we go. All right.
Did you hear that, everyone?
Well, you've heard it here first. You've heard it here.
Actor.
I'm going to be first one on that, I'm telling you now.
Brilliant. Owen, you will be more than welcome.
I am very happy for that.
In the description, everything is in the description.
Yeah, get yourself down there. Get looking at Matt's socials. Get on his email. Get to his classes. Because I remember going for the first one, and I thought, hey, look at this. You know, I like being in that environment with other people who share the same mindset on a certain topic. Do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. So, and even from then to now, I mean, the classes are just, I think I genuinely mean this, and I say this looking right at you. I genuinely think that we have the best offering in terms of acting coaching in the world, right? I genuinely mean that, and I'll tell you why. I'm not just going to say something like that and not qualify it. What happens is usually, and even back then when it was the York School of Acting, we fell into the same kind of pattern. You know, you'd attend an hour, a class a week, and then you'd forget about it, and you'd go, and then you'd maybe you'd maybe go back the next week, or you might have something on, so you didn't go that week, and then you go back. Well, what we have is the most all-encompassing acting coaching available. So the actual coaching is based on what we call now the Trinity acting method, which is my own acting method. It's a book that will be coming out at some point, but first I'm going to make sure it's ingratiated fully into our organization. It's a very specialist, unique technique for actors. As well as that, all our actors get filmed every single class. All right. So they're actually filmed doing their scene. Okay. Then what happens is they receive that scene to watch back, to watch themselves. And then as part of being totally within the organization all the time, we set challenges via WhatsApp on a Monday, where everybody has a challenge to do, which is usually industry related, something around CVs and all of that stuff. Then they obviously attend the class through the week. Then they watch their videos. Then there's opportunities from our agency dropping into their inboxes all of the time. There's kind of the agency run alongside it. Then what happens is we pluck all of the best kind of the kind of actors that are really progressing and really kind of going at it at a rate of knots, putting the effort in. We then pluck those and they go into an academy, which is with me for 2 hours. Then if people want to kind of go further, we have kind of a product whereby I actually personally mentor a certain amount of actors. And with regards to, we call it the Elite Mentoring Program. And if anybody is and does kind of look at my Instagram stuff, the Elite Mentoring Program is ridiculous because I get, they work one-on-one with me and they absolutely accelerate their career. I mean, the types of numbers are ridiculous. We're talking like 6, 7, 8 auditions. We're talking about people hitting 4 self-tapes within 20 odd days. They then get roles, they build up their CV at a rate of knots, and then we kind of coach them stage by stage, you know, usually people who have not done anything, and then we kind of build them up to getting on spotlight, getting the first professional opportunities. It depends. I mean, we coach from every single level, but yeah, so that's our organization now. I've got 9 staff who work for me. They're absolutely amazing. And yeah, so genuinely, the offering with Matt Zina acting is just, for me, it's as good as it can be. And, you know, because I am the way I am, I'm always trying to improve it, if possible, you know? And the thing is as well, I mean, the one thing that I love is absolutely anybody can be involved in Matt Zina acting. It's not a financial thing because we do everything. I put out content for free, you know? I help actors. I give acting advice for free, you know? I do things like this. I do podcasts. I appear as guests. I do all sorts of things and give out free content. You know, the classes, you know, are literally, like I say, they are the most competitively priced classes around. We then go for the academy and we build right up. So we've got products for absolutely kind of everyone, and we certainly don't exclude anybody. You know, because and this is important to me, guys, because I'm a working class lad from Bradford, you know, and my mum and dad struggled to afford to send me to performing arts school. It was a real struggle, but they did it, you know. So it's important to me as well that I don't exclude anybody. So that's another reason why I put out free content. You know, when I put out the podcast, you know, like I say, no one's paying me, you know, it's the point is it's look, I want to help as many people as possible. I wished that there was somebody like me when I was young and wanting to get into acting, you know, so I need to be that guy, and that's what I want to be, you know. I want to make sure that I'm not excluding anyone, and that's kind of a bit of a mission of mine, you know, because we have limiting beliefs sometimes, don't we? We think we're from Bradford, so we can't achieve anything. You know, we're from this city. We're from, you know, we're from a certain socioeconomic background. You know, we don't have rich parents, or we don't have this. So what can we achieve? Yeah, exactly. And one of my biggest things is, look, I had all these limiting beliefs as a child, and I bust through all of them. I want everybody else to. I don't want anyone to think they're from Bradford, or I don't want anyone to think that they're from, you know, a poor family and they can't achieve anything. You know, all the richest people in the world, they were some of the richest people in the world. You know, they weren't given money. They weren't, were they? You know, the break through their limiting beliefs. That's what they are. And if I've got one message for your viewers, and it's just like, It's just like, you know, because I like to add value and I want to make sure that absolutely everybody succeeds. If I have one message for your kind of listeners, I want all of your listeners to be aware of their limiting beliefs. So I've just mentioned it there. What is a limiting belief? A limiting belief is a belief that you hold that doesn't particularly have any truth to it. It's not a belief that you need to keep. And I want you to, and I want your listeners to identify what those beliefs are. Okay, so it might be, I'm not a morning person. Are you not? Why? You know, it might be, I'm a night owl. It might be, I'm no good at this. I'm no good at that. It might be, I'm from Bradford. What can I achieve? It might be, you know, it might be something like, I don't know, like I said about rich parents and you know, I'm life's not fair and all this stuff. And I want you to identify what those are, write them on a piece of paper, and then just rip them up. Okay, rip them up, get rid of them all, and watch all of those limiting beliefs just disappear. Because this life, you can genuinely achieve anything that you want. Genuinely. The only limits that you, for some reason, that you place on are the ones that the only limits you have are the ones that you place on yourself, the ones that you hold on to. You know? And it makes me sad sometimes when you look at somebody and you talk to them and they say something and it's just like, you know, you could do so much more. You're not achieving your full potential.
It's like that saying where it's like, it's like that saying where it's like the only person who can change you is you.
Absolutely. Do you know what? It's all an inside job. We all reach out and we're all looking for somebody or something or, you know, that's going to take us from one place to the next. It's an absolute inside job. It's an absolute inside job. There's I put on a post the other day. It was a bit tongue in cheek. In fact, one of my mates was winding me up about it, and it was about the Wizard of Oz. Right, the Wizard of Oz is a story. Now, the Wizard of Oz is actually a really, really clever story, and it was, and what it basically means is that it's you know, like children's tales have a bit of a message or a meaning to them. The Wizard of Oz is a story of these people that basically are looking for somebody to help them. And then what happens at the end is they realize and find out that everything that they needed, they already had, you know, they already had everything that they needed to succeed was already within them, you know? So we have, you know, the Tin Man but it's a really interesting story. And I always remember that. And it's so true of all of us. Everything we think we're going to get from something else. We always think that people get into relationships hoping that that person's going to enrich them and make them better. People get a business partner because they think that that person's going to be the one to pull them to where they need to be. You know? Yeah. Not at all. We have everything that we need within us. Every single person. It's called a growth mentality, you know? And we all need to adopt that. We all need to realize that anybody can be whoever they want to be and absolutely nothing is impossible. And it all sounds cheesy when you say it. But when it comes from somebody like my new viewpoint, the way that I feel right now is I've lived this, you know, I've lived this, I've done this. I'm still living it, right? I've got a growth mentality. Exactly. I'm fully aware that I'm not I haven't actually achieved my full potential yet. I'm just trying. But I'm doing it all within. I'm coaching myself. I'm realizing that there's only one person going to do it. Nobody's coming to help. You know, I've got a coach, I've got a mentor, brilliant. But what is his job? His job is to give me ideas. His job is to keep me accountable. But in the end, and even he says this, look, it's you that does it. You've got to take the action. And when I'm mentoring people, I say exactly the same thing. Look, I can keep you accountable. I can give you lots of years, 20 years worth of experience so that you don't have to make certain mistakes. But in the end, it's you that's got to take action. And, you know, I do hope that more people and more people start to realize that, because there's a real movement going on, I feel, at the minute with regards to mindset, understanding of mindset. People like us guys kind of looking at each other's material, people kind of getting warm to it, and people starting to absorb it. And that's why we're doing what we're doing. That's why I'm releasing this podcast on the 8th of July. And I think it's good. I genuinely do, guys.
You have honestly just put that beautifully. Honestly,
thank you.
You honestly so right. And anything is possible. That's what I always say. Anything is possible, and nothing ever in your life will stop you. Nothing will. It's all a game of. It's all down to your mindset, and it's like playing a game with yourself. You're always going to win. You're going to win that game. And I'm just really conscious of time because I believe the Zoom recording is going to end soon. So. Thank you so much for coming on, Matt. It's been an absolute pleasure having you. Yeah. I've learned so much. I know I have for definite. And I think I speak for Luke as well.
Yeah, I'm not really into acting, but I've learned a lot. I've really learned a lot.
I'll tell you what, guys, I just think, you know what? It's brilliant what you're doing. You know, you must keep this up. I think it's fantastic. I'm a supporter now, all right? And I always will be. So whenever you want me back on the show, you're perfectly welcome. And I'd be perfectly happy to come along and make sure you join me on my little ride, and we'll keep chatting.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Just let me sign off by saying, right, to all your wonderful listeners, download the Act Now Show podcast on iTunes on the 8th of July.
Get down there, get in the description, get on the links. You know what to do, people.
That was frozen perfectly in time.
He's frozen. You know what? He's frozen in a fantastic way as well. I love it.
Your internet's dead again, mate.
Yeah. I know, my internet's awful. It's been really bad all week.
Bless you. Yeah, thanks so much, guys.
You're welcome.
Anytime.
Honestly, you're welcome. Anytime. So get on the description, get in the links, follow Matt on all his platforms, Facebook, Instagram. You know the drill, people. Get on there. And I've had a brilliant episode. I've been loving every minute. So I'll end it off for all the viewers. We'll see you guys in the next episode. Take care.
See you in the next one.
Stuck in the maze. Everything's okay, but it's not really okay. My life's a death race. I'm in my pain with codeine rain. I'm going insane. Life's not the